Just happened maybe 5 minutes ago, and I'm scrambling trying to figure out what to do before the police are called. I'm living off campus with a roommate that I was paired with through our college. We had a disagreement about her paying her portion of bills and rent on time, and her boyfriend basically living here without our landlord's permission, which violates our lease. Well, everything seemed to be fine later on, so we're hanging out in my room and she asks me to braid her hair. Afterwards, she offers to braid mine. She goes to grab hair ties or something. I'm not paying attention as I'm on my phone. Well, apparently, she actually grabbed scissors. I decided to cut my hair as revenge for pissing her off. I'm expecting her to braid my hair, when suddenly right next to my ear she cuts a huge chunk of my hair off. I freak out, and instinctively turn around while batting her hand away. Her hand flies into her face and the scissors cut her cheek quite deep. They were expensive shears, I guess, so they were very sharp. Now she's saying I harmed her and threatened to call the police. I told her I would give her the money she wanted and we didn't have to call the police, but I had to pawn some things, so I needed a minute to gather some stuff to sell to get the money. I just did this to buy some time. I'm not giving her anything. Do I wait for her to call the police and explain when they get here? I considered calling the police first, but I don't want to incriminate myself. I really didn't mean for her to get hurt. All I did was turn around and push her hand away before I could even process that she had shears in her hand. Either way, I don't want to live with a psycho anymore. Is there anything I can do? I have a copy of our lease that I'm going to look over. We're on one lease, but she's just a co-signer, as she was 17 when we signed the lease, but has since turned 18. Our lease is up in August. Also, this might sound stupid, but she ran off with my chunk of hair. Could the police make her give it back to me? It's very long, and I'd at least like to donate it, as I'll have to cut the rest of my hair to match since the psycho had 1/3 of my hair in her hand. Thank you. Now for the top advice before reading the first update. She violated you first. Call the police and explain your situation. It likely is very noticeable your hair is cut. You can also go to file for an emergency order of protection against her, outside of vacating the premises on your own. I would suggest rephrasing that, because first implies that OP also reciprocated the act on the roommate, which is not the case. The roommate harmed OP, and OP acted in self-defense. OP did not harm the roommate at all. Saying she did it to you first implies that OP did it to the roommate second. Okay, thank you for the info. Do you know if this would be considered a crime if she didn't inflict bodily harm, or would this fall under battery? I'm going to call the police before she gets a chance, but I want to know what to expect in case the officer tries to say this is a civil matter. I don't expect her to be thrown in jail, but I want some leverage on her so I don't have to live with her anymore. Your school will almost definitely have resources for you, especially if they paired you two together. Look at your Rest Life website to see if they have any off-campus student resources. Regardless, please call the police. Okay, thank you. The problem is that I go to a crappy state college that doesn't have dorms, but they have a program thing where they match students together who are looking for roommates off campus, so I don't think they can get directly involved. I can't find anything helpful in my school's website, but I'm just going to talk to an advisor before the campus closes and hope that they can deal with her and maybe suspend her or something. I don't know. I'm looking into a protective order, but that would be hard to enforce if we're still going to class on the same campus, right? So she harmed you, lied about it, and threatened you, and you're wondering if you should file a police report? Well, the first two officers didn't believe me and pretty much said I was lucky I wasn't being arrested because my roommate is the one with a huge cut on her face. It's pretty discouraging. The evidence is on her side, except for a short audio clip of her yelling and freaking out. And now for the first update/edit. Jack squat happened. I called a non-emergency line right after I posted this, and they sent out 2 officers. I made a mistake of telling my roommate that I had called the police and that she had committed a crime. She must have realized that it looked pretty bad and rethought her strategy. She disappeared into the bathroom for a while until the police got here, and when she came out, her hair was cut, but like a real haircut instead of hack job she gave me. The officers separated us and got our sides of the story. She told them that we had agreed to cut each other's hair, and that she pulled a little prank and decided to cut my hair a bit shorter than originally planned. I got freaked out, and that's how she got cut. She convinced them that she had apologized, but I was looking for a way to get her out of the house and was lying. She showed them our text, where she just asks if I want to do her hair without specifying what we were doing, and all the earlier texts where we're fighting about money and I threatened to get the landlord involved. She even showed them the hair in the trash can. I guess my story sounded less believable with all the evidence against me, and in the end they didn't seem to give a crap. They said this was a civil matter. And as long as she didn't feel like a crime was committed, that they were done. I didn't want to press my luck and get arrested, so I kept my mouth shut. So I was treated like a criminal. And now this insane girl is outside my room threatening to destroy all my things. I recorded some of her rampage through the door, and I'm collecting any messages that sound even remotely threatening that her and her boyfriend have sent me. I'm taking pictures of all of my stuff in case she destroys my property. The office of the apartment just closed, so I can't go to my landlord till tomorrow, and I don't have any way to contact him directly. What the hell do I do now? Can I go to the police station and file a report even though the police just came here and decided to believe her? Now for the second update. I just wanted to thank everyone for all your help and advice. If I had it posted here, I probably would have waited for my roommate, referred to as Jane from here to avoid confusion, to call the cops, which almost definitely would have screwed me as Jane turned out to be scary good at lying and manipulating. So yesterday, I got off Reddit and got to collecting evidence and making a script, so I knew exactly what to say when I went to talk to the police again. My neighbor that we share a wall with came over after hearing Jane flipping out, and I explained everything. Neighbor offered to watch my cat and said she'll call me if it seemed like Jane was going to do anything crazy while I went to the station. I packed all of my most valuable things in my car, took pictures of everything else, and then recorded a quick video of me telling Jane that I was going out and she did not have permission to go into my room or touch my things, just in case she wrecked something and said I did it or something. I don't know. I told the police about everything and brought my copy of the police report, showed them harassing messages Jane had sent in the past, messages proving we often braid each other's hair. Probably unnecessary, but I was trying to prove that I agreed to let her braid my hair, and I'd never let her cut it. And proof that I'm a cosmetology student, freelance makeup artist, and occasional hair model. So I would never let someone who isn't trained cut my hair. It is an important part of my job/hobby. The officers I spoke to this time surprisingly took me seriously, but before I could even finish talking to them, my neighbor sends me a video of Jane tossing my open train case onto the corner and stomping on some of my very expensive makeup as it falls out. I'm an idiot and forget that one thing that is important to my livelihood right now in the bathroom. But I was in a hurry and grabbed my personal makeup kit without thinking. Details aside, Crazy Witch tossed out thousands of dollars worth of my property. 2 new officers escorted me back to my apartment, and when we got there, Jane immediately turned on the waterworks. Surprisingly, she was cooperative and left with 1 officer to talk at the station, I guess, while the other helped me scare away the vultures trying to steal my makeup off the street and bring it inside. I noticed my prescribed Wellbutrin and Xanax bottles were missing from the bathroom. I know, stupid place to keep them, but who the heck steals Wellbutrin? And the officer said they would question her. So I didn't hear anything after that. But this morning, I looked at the public records for my county and saw Jane's mugshot with charges for a crime with a deadly weapon and malicious mischief. I guess she had been booked late last night. But I checked Facebook a bit ago, and Jane had posted a truly classy selfie, middle finger and all. So does that mean she's posted bail? Anyways, I brought all this info and the police reports to my landlord this morning, and he pretty much told me tough luck. He said that I still need to have the full rent payment, and that if Jane wouldn't willingly move out, he couldn't evict her without evicting me too, since we're on one lease. Do I just need to pay for everything and then sue her in small claims court? What do I do about all my damaged cosmetics? The police are aware of Jane damaging my stuff, but they haven't heard anything back. I'm totally lost as to what happens now. Will this go to court, and will I need to attend? Are the police going to get back to me as to what I need to do next? They took my statement, but that's it. The good news is that she isn't allowed on campus at the college we both go to until this is settled, and if she returns, I'll transfer to another campus nearby. Also, she hasn't attempted to come back to the apartment, and if she does, I have a friend here with me. My landlord said I have to let Jane in if she returns though, even if I get a protective order. That sounds like BS, and I have an appointment on Monday to talk to a lawyer who will hopefully help me figure out what to do next. I'd like for it to be sooner, but it's free legal consultation through my college. So I guess they're busy? Anyway, sorry to ramble. I'm just not sure what to expect until I can speak with a lawyer. Now for more advice before the final update. Based on the arrest, file for a restraining order. Jane is still responsible for her half of the rent, but she won't be allowed to go there. Also take the evidence you have, including the mugshot and restraining order if you get one, to the school's roommate pairing people. Ask them to find someone else to share the place with you. Let them deal with reassigning Jane to a new roommate. You'll be on the hook for full rent, along with Jane, but good luck collecting, until you can find another roommate and arrange for your landlord to modify the lease. It could go to court, or she may take a plea bargain. If it does go to court, you will probably be called as a witness. This could be months from now. Take some pictures of your unwanted haircut just in case it goes to court. Save the video of Jane trashing your makeup. Save everything, basically. Thanks for the reply. When I went to discuss everything at my school, they immediately got me in contact with another student who needs a roommate and can move in ASAP. Plus, I have classes with her and she seems normal, but my landlord's saying there's nothing I can do. He said he can't kick Jane out unless he evicts both of us, and that the only way someone else can move in is if Jane sublets her room out. Either way, I don't know what to do with her stuff. My landlord just kept talking about bailment or something, and how he has to hold on to her property for a while even if she abandons it. You could also file a small claims lawsuit for the property that she trashed, the cost of a cosmetologist to fix your hair, and her share of the rent if she doesn't pay. My landlord said I have to let Jane in if she returns though, even if I get a protective order. I believe that your landlord is in error. A court order from a judge to stay away will override any rights she has under the lease. If you get a protective order when she returns, call 911. Jane, who you arrested for harming me with a deadly weapon and against whom I have a protective order, is trying to enter my residence right now. Should elicit a relatively rapid response. I strongly recommend that you get a protective order ASAP. Thank you so much for the advice. I called yesterday and tried to get an emergency protective order, but I was told that I had to apply for one within 12 hours of the arrest, and this was maybe 15 or 16 hours after. So I'm getting a restraining order against her and just hoping I can avoid her until then. Now for the final update. Well, this isn't a very interesting update, but I figured you guys would like to know that justice was sort of served. I just wanted to thank everyone for all the responses on my first 2 posts. It helped me a lot. Especially to the people who advised me to be proactive and persistent in contacting the police, and to the person who mentioned renter's insurance, which I didn't even realize I had. Thanks, Dad. So everything happened much quicker than I anticipated, and it's all pretty much settled. Also, I'm not sure how much detail I should give since this all just happened, but Jane took a plea bargain, not sure if this is the correct terminology, and plead guilty to misdemeanor crime and destruction of property. I'm a bit upset that she pretty much got a slap on the wrist with the sentence and fine she received, but I suppose it's worth it because she cooperated in breaking our lease. I filed for a restraining order against her and filed a claim with my insurance company for my damaged and stolen makeup, which was thankfully covered by my renter's insurance. Jane's parents moved all of her stuff out of the apartment yesterday and gave me a little money to cover her portion of the rent that she owes me. It wasn't nearly enough, but they seem like surprisingly nice people, and I feel bad that they have to deal with such a nutcase of a daughter. I found a new roommate, and we're signing a new lease this week. So, aside from being flat freaking broke now and getting an unwanted haircut, everything turned out alright. Last story is titled, My 20 female boyfriend's 20 male friend 20 male was inside my apartment when I came home last night. Boyfriend says I need to chill out about it. I'm 20 female. When I came home last night, I noticed my kitchen light was on. I leave when it's bright outside, so I never have it on in the morning when I leave. Then I heard a toilet flush and I immediately freaked out. The only person other than me that has a key to my apartment is my boyfriend, 20 male, but he's away for training. He's in the military. But it ended up being my boyfriend's friend and he was immediately like, calm down, calm down. Your boyfriend said I could come here to change. And I was like, what? And this guy said he had a job interview near my apartment, but he didn't want to go all the way uptown to his apartment to change because he works close here. So my boyfriend said it was okay if he came to my place and showered and changed. He said he got my apartment key from my boyfriend's place. I immediately called my boyfriend and I was like, why wouldn't you call and tell me about this? And my boyfriend was like, I didn't tell him he could do it specifically to him, but I mentioned in passing before I left that you lived around there. And he said he might have an issue, so I said that might be a solution. But I didn't explicitly tell him he could go over today. And I was like, why are you offering my apartment to anyone? And he was like, well, I didn't know he was going to do it, so I don't know why you're getting mad at me. You need to chill. And I think I'm completely justified in being mad, but now I'm second-guessing myself. Edit. I took the key from the friend, so I have the key back. My boyfriend's apartment is near the friend's uptown. I think the friend took the key when he was hanging out with my boyfriend's roommates. He gave someone your key in passing, but not directly? I smell BS. Yep, she said he got it from the boyfriend's apartment, but even with that knowledge, how would he know it was that key, and her apartment address and number to enter? That's not just in passing info. Exactly. Unless he already knew where Opie lived. Doubt it. He had to have asked the boyfriend. That means the boyfriend told him where the key was and gave him her address and apartment number. Please get your locks changed as soon as possible. This is not okay. I think I'm going to. Absolutely do this, and check your place for cameras. You don't know if your boyfriend or this guy made copies, and his reason for being there is suspicious AF. Change your locks. Don't be naive. If he's letting randoms go into your home, you cannot trust him to have not made a duplicate key. Change your locks and dump him. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't value you. He doesn't even give a damn about you feeling safe in your home. You need to protect yourself from this man.